Hello, everyone. Welcome to today's event. The Impact Travel Alliance is a global community and a 501c3 nonprofit aimed at improving the world through travel. We teach travelers how to explore in a way that has a positive impact on local communities and the environment. Our events are designed to help travelers understand how to travel sustainably anywhere. Today, we are talking about a very special group who live in Jerusalem, Israel. And without further ado, I'm going to turn it over to Impact Travel Alliance's Senior Advisor, Marve, and she will kick us off and introduce the event. Take it away.
Thank you so much, Judy, and welcome everyone who is joining us from all over the globe. So I'm so honored to have this opportunity to tune in your workplaces, your homes, your safe spaces from the corner of my apartment in the traditional land of many nations, including the Mississauga of the Credit, the Anishinaabe, the Chippewa, the Haudenosaunee, and the Wendat people, the land that now we call Toronto. And really excited I am here to co-host this event with our special guest, actually a real house today, Amon Salim. And before just giving a brief introduction, I want to tell you a story about myself and why I'm here today and why I'm hosting this event. So let's start. Sorry, I have to. Okay. So a little bit visuals. So when I was a child, one summer I had the chance to flew to my grandparents' city and stayed at home the whole summer with them in their summer cottage. Sorry for this slow. So for them, it was a routine of decades when, like in the beginning of this summer or when the spring comes, actually, they packed their homes in the big city and they moved into their land in the high altitude village and lived there for up to 6 months, like the whole warm season. And their cottage was over a high hill land, very steep to my childhood feet, actually. And my grandpa had leveled this hillside into terraces and had turned it into a mesmerizing cherry and apple orchard. And that cottage itself was a simple wooden structure room that my grandpa built it himself. And the walls were wrapped in foldable thick fabrics, which were delicately framed and fastened to the structure, letting this natural light and warmth come into the room, deep inside the room during the days, and also protected us from the cold nights in the high altitude and all those voices in the middle of the night, which in my childhood imagination embodied as the mountain monsters. So it was safe and warm and lit, just as a nomad tent could be. In one corner of this amazing cottage, there was a deep niche where my grandma kept her real treasures, her patchwork quilts, which in my language, Farsi, we call it chelteke, meaning 40 patches, an analogy for myriads of patches. So at night, grandpa unfolded these fabric walls, fastened them tightly to their frames, and lightened up a small olive stove, which we called it Aladdin lamp. And there was only the sound of this Aladdin lamp, the flame inside the Aladdin lamp, and the jackals, of course, the jackals' howls that occasionally broke this silence at the night. And grandma then unwrapped this chelteke quilts over the floor and made a comfortable bed for us, and then we lay down over them, and this then fantasy started. Grandma believed that each patch was an anecdote of a hidden story, a story that had been lived by a woman who stitched them together. One sad, one happy, one love, one loss. So each Chelteke were waiting for their turn to tell their hidden stories. And I had this privilege to choose the patch for the night. for the story of the night. And then my grandma beautifully weaved this story from patch to patch throughout the night until the whole Chalteke story was told. At that time, I didn't know that like one day my grandma's patch kills, my grandma Chalteke kills, would inspire me to start Ethnomad. After over 10 years working as an architect, which itself gave me lots of opportunity and privilege to meet and work with amazing people in many rural and urban communities all around the world, I had one of those constructive pause moments, which drew me following my passion, supporting people who have dreams about their lands, their culture, their people, and building these shared grounds to celebrate ethnic culture. I started from volunteering in community projects back home in Iran. And then I traveled a lot and trained myself to be an enterprise facilitator and community enabler. And I started working in many different communities. But whether as volunteer, as traveler, as planner, enabler, or even as a bride, I became part of the Chalteke stories of the people I met and worked with, and also encourage my family members and friends to join me in practicing such relationship building. So one of the photos that I share with you on the top right, it's actually my wedding ceremony, which all managed and led by a community, a local community in a desert village in Iran, in a village in the desert in Iran. And everything, every pieces were made by women there, and they made the food. So that was an inspiring story for me and for many of my pals and my colleagues later. That how we can build this relationship in every piece of our life. And the other photo is from my husband, actually posing for me for this little precious that I bought from a community, which hopefully someday I will tell the story of them for you. So that's why this Ethnomad shape, actually, I started it to find the hidden gems around the world who harness the power of hospitality to preserve and promote the betterment of their people and their roots and their land and water. It would be a place to build care and respect for diversity of culture and way of life and get connected to hidden stories. So if you're inspired by the work that I've started and want to connect me to a hidden gem you had the privilege to work with, or want to share your Chalteke story, or want to stay tuned for the other Chalteke story, let's connect and keep this conversation going. So again, welcome everyone to our first Chalteke story. Today, or for many of us among us, our special host Amon tonight, a special woman from Domari people will tell us her Chalteke story. Amon Salim, founder of Domari Society of Gypsies in Jerusalem, hosting us in her warm and welcoming place in the heart of the old city of Jerusalem. And her Chalteke story is about a hidden community that is striving for cultural identity and social and economic justice. In her book, A Gypsy Dreaming in Jerusalem, Amon writes that when she was starting the center and sharing her vision for her community to other people, most people even didn't know that this community exists and living in Jerusalem for many years. So Amon is a person who liven this magic of their stories, their foods, customs, crafts in celebrating Dom culture and identity and advancing the quality of life of youth and women in her community. Their place in Jerusalem is also a refuge for visitors and for the ones who want just to be part of their local stories and indulge themselves in their taste of ethnic food, the gorgeous colorful handicrafts that they made by Domari women. So I think let's all sit back and listen to Aman unwrapping her Chalteke stories and tell us to us today. Aman, it's all.
Thank you so much, Merva, my dear, and hello everybody. My name is Amun Slim, and I'm so happy today to be enjoying you, telling about my community who live in Jerusalem for so many years. So, and today it's pity that I speaking from my home because today we have snow in Jerusalem, and it was very complicated to be at the center and showing you lively some handicraft. But anyhow, we hope in the future to meet face to face and that you can able to come and see the place in your own eyes. So first of all, I would like to share a little bit about the history of the Dom people. I still connected with Gypsy because when I speak Domari or Dom people, not so much people will understand it. Dom people is originally, the roots come from India, and they've been settled in Middle East for more than 800 years, or moving from India more than 800 years. But they are settled in Middle East, you can say, for around 500 to 400 years. That is the officially, you can say, last information and research about their settled in Middle East. So many of the Gypsies, they live in all Arab countries. The same tribe that I come from, they call themselves Dom or Domari. And today we speak about also the Gypsies who live in the old city of Jerusalem, and they settle in the old city of Jerusalem. Especially now you see some picture, it's showing you that Lions Gate, it was one of the gates that Gypsies settled there for more than 200 years. My family have the place and their home in the old city for more than 200 years, at least I know. So we've been located in many places in the old city in different areas. Dung Gate, New Gate, the Golden Gate, the Gypsy is settled there. And many people, they don't know about us, and they think we are hiding society, or we are community not so much people know about. So we were pleased that today we can share a little bit, and in the end we would like to hear from you some questions. So let's start about the culture. The Gypsies are very, very unique culture, and because this group is ethnic groups, mean they have something unique from them. So such as we have many things is important in our community. It's food and handicraft, and also different ways of living in the same time. But the food, it's very important things for the community, and it's connecting with Gypsy in different kind of ways. That it's important because it's the hospitality of the Gypsy, and the secret behind this culture. It's food. It's a spicy. It's color. You can say, and also the sharing their bread with their neighbor. That's what they call it. Share your bread with your neighbor. It's mean that is like a brother, and it's also hospitality. I will share a little bit of story of my grandmother when she cooked something in the old city, in the neighborhood, in the Lions Gate. When, for instance, it's familiar for many people. It's kubbe. It's stuffing, burgol with meat. So my grandmother used to do this one. She was very professional, very, very unique. So you can smell the whole neighborhood. It's my grandmother's kubbe. And then you can see the neighbors waiting, not to say hi, Zarife. Her name is Zarife. They call her, hi, Zarife, like to check if she would remember them. And to be honest with you, we come from very simple family, but I was proud to see that my grandmother had a great hospitality and generous, that every neighbor in my neighborhood will take part of this kubbe. So she's sending me with small plates to each neighbor that take to them this kubbe that they can eat. So this is one of the hospitality and also sharing that I learned from my grandma. So the Gypsy food is very rich food. We're focusing on different kind of stuff, but the Gypsies, like like maybe different than others. They like meat and they are interesting in lamb meats. So this is one of the things that gypsies always like to eat in their food. They are simple, but they choose the expensive stuff, you know. So lamb meat is important, and also the spices that is make us different than others. The gypsies make their own spices. And actually, I was mentioning it in different, we have cookbook, we done it some years ago, explain a little bit about the gypsy spices that my grandmother created, and also they do it at their home, they prepare it at their home, and that's make the food of us, it's a little bit special. We take a lot of food from the Middle East, but we use our own spices that is make it different than others. It's very unique. Here in this picture also I show that on the slide that you show the handicraft. That's also what make this ethnic group is different than other groups. We are the people of the color. We like color. We like the life with color. You never see a house of any gypsy people without color. Always it's like we call it kharabish. It's everything is colorful. Everything is not the same like in others. Even me, sorry, when I come to the center, I remember my home. I remember the room of my grandmother. I remember her small fabrics everywhere from different groups. So this is something, it's make it unique, and it's make it different than others. I would like that if you can share more about the handicraft. Also, we speaking now about the tradition clothes. I will drink some water if you give me 1 minute. Okay. Yes, sorry. Also, what makes us unique and different than other, it's also the tradition clothes that you see that Gypsy used to wear. And to be honest with you, it's so pity from living discriminating society in Middle East. It make the Gypsies give up on their tradition clothes. This is one of my dress, and this is the old-fashioned clothes they used to wear, the Gypsies, years ago. But because the Gypsies are not acceptable among other communities, they try to hide their customs, and I'm trying to bring it back to life. So this is my dress. I usually wear it when there are occasion or even event or anything. I always like to wear it and show the bottoms that we have, and the embroidery that can show how it was. Gypsies in their weddings long time ago, when somebody is married or a family thinks she have daughters, they like to start to prepare dresses in their home. Dresses made from the embroidery with very beautiful and unique light fabric. That I remember my mother, that always she have nice, beautiful embroidery dresses, but with colors, as you see. We never wear so much black. So usually they choose the bright colors that they can make embroidery. And even when we have weddings, the bride should be prepared her dress from her family. Her family have to work with it maybe 3 months or 4 months. They can really prepare it, and even we call it khir'a. This is something they just cover their hair with a beautiful white fabric, but it's full with many beautiful embroidery. This kind of customs that it's pity right now, you can see it's I don't say it's disappeared, because you have many people still wearing this kind of dresses in weddings or in occasion, but many of them, they give up on them because, like I say, hiding society, discriminated society, when you wear this kind of dresses, that's everybody can point on you that you are gypsy, and maybe to hide this kind of discriminated, that gypsy feel, okay, I don't want to wear these things daily life, or wear it in any other places except our weddings. So this is one of the customs and the beautiful custom that gypsy used to wear. My grandmothers, my mothers, they don't give up on them, but the new generation was able to make it differently. This is community center. This is the community center that we have, and this is the only community center in Middle East, for instance. We have many gypsies, they live around the world and also in Middle East. But I am proud to say we established this community center for more than 20 years right now. And the hospitality, you will see it in this place, is very unique. First of all, it's a beautiful community center full with many culture and colorful items that Gypsy used to do, and women like to do it. And in the same time, this community center is very important for new generation, and for the new generation, and also for women, we must say. In this community center, we do a lot of activities that we focusing on women, and we focusing on children. Women, like I say, you can see women can enjoying us with making handicraft, selling handicraft. In this picture, you can also see that many women learn or even show their food, or making different items that it can be bringing the culture out to the people. So we were having different kind of courses that we're running for the community, in the community for the women. And in the end, the woman can really be proud, and having nice certificate can show her that she already participate in one of our handicrafts, or even the activities that we run in the center. In this center, we also doing different kind of activities for the children, not only tutoring. So children can have different kind of activities, such as music, such as learning on computer, such as drawing, and also fun hour, we call it, like we have it in the summertime, that we see many young people are very talented with painting. And we have now a few of them, they are hoping to enjoy arts college for, to be a painter. And hopefully in the future, we can show you some of the nice hand paint that some ladies, especially one girl, I'm proud of her, her name is Sarah. She done beautiful paints, and she's just 14. So we are hoping that we create a new art lady in the future from the community. So this is it. Somehow you can say the beautiful activities that children usually do. Women coming in any kind of activities that we usually do at the center, because it's very important to them to learn and to prove their skills, and in the same time to bring the culture back to the community. Like handicraft, it's very important, and it's something connect with their culture. So many of them like to do a beautiful jewelry, a beautiful kind of embroidery that sometimes it take weeks and months to make this embroidery out, and then also to sell it. In this way, that women can really build also confidence in herself, that this handicraft, it's not really come out of the blues. It's come from something creative. We give always the woman chance that she can bring this creative out from her. We don't have catalog. We don't have anything. We always advise women that to go back and bring what their parents or what their homes is done in that time, how it was. We've been also participate in many bazaars And always when we are participating in our bazaars, you can say the most unique table, you can say, honestly, it's Gypsy table, because the color you see on these tables and different handicraft can show us from the others. We have competition, we call it like Palestinian society, but we are totally different than Palestinians because the Gypsies have their own stylish and its own colors and nothing sitting like each other. So you see the pillow, when you see one pillow, you see the pillows that having 4 colors in one pillow. That is something is not common. And that is also, to be honest with you, show you maybe your background or your history. As you see here, nothing is sitting like each other. So it's different. And it's also showing that we are people of the color, and maybe it's something to connect with your roots, like maybe the originally homeland you come from, it's from India. So this is like part of the handicraft and the button that you can see. And the necklaces, like this is a necklace and the food that can show you this culture that has been rich and different than other culture. So we've been happy to say that we have many people is interesting and coming visiting this place and trying our food, and they always think it's something special. So we've been hosting many people, visitors around the world, and I will share one thing that we were really start to make a new connection with Banatera. It's to host some guests, and we started, and it was very, very special. But you know, lately the Corona was a start and changed all the programs. But we were really happy to start this programs inside the center, and it was successful. And usually also we have many visitors around the world, and especially Gypsies from different countries visiting, you know, the community center, and feel it's something special and something unique they like to be connected with. Women's always holding their dish and hospitality. It's a huge that you can feel it in the community center. We are happy to say that women were reaching something that many women in Middle East, they haven't reached it from the community. So we are the first center like bringing women and sharing with them the hospitality of the culture. We always also focusing on visitors and volunteers from different countries who's coming and helping with us and working. So usually many volunteers come international, working with us in different kind of ways, like, you know, helping with children, helping with women, and in the same time learning our culture and learning the language that we always working with. So our center is focusing on this activity, and it's very important for us to have internationals. And we hope in the future and through this this presentation that we can really see some of our visitors, or some people will be interesting in the future to come and to volunteer at the community center in Jerusalem. So we've been also involved in many activities outside the center, such as running food in different kind of places like Sumbula and others, because the Gypsies, like I say, it's unique food and it's unique, you know, hospitality. So always we have people who's really willing and asking if we can really running food and they can really able to taste it. If we go to the second picture, please, to the second one. During the Corona, it was very difficult year for us, like everywhere around the world. So it was very hard and very difficult. So we were really focusing on humanitarian aid in the community and also around the center and around the people in the West Bank. So we were working with many families and helping many families during COVID. So we were able to provide some food to the needed families and helping the families from many areas in Israel and Jerusalem, actually. So we were focusing on surviving in this period, and that's also was making the business of the community center was really luck, because we were focusing before on tourists and visitors coming, but during the COVID, it was all these things was make us stop, and the situation of us make us only focusing on different things in the humanitarian aid, and we offered and hosted many families during this COVID. And somehow now we are saying, like, the community center been important to many people. The hospitality and the food and the crafts make us somebody different than other groups who living here. We hoping like to continue to host more people, and people more can able to come and learn more about this culture, seeing the handicraft of this community, connect with our food, connect with our handicraft, and in the same time connect with this culture that been exit or settled in Middle East for more than 400 years, and they call themselves the hiding society, and not so much people know about them. We hope in the future that you can really be also connected to different kind of things that we do. We have link for our kitchen, we have link for our handicraft and bazaar, and we have also you can contact us during the email and during the Instagram or Facebook. You are welcome to contact us and come and visiting us in the future. This community can really show you its surviving ethnic groups who live here. These ethnic groups been discriminated, been refusing, but their culture and their holding with their own tradition items make them keep going and continue. So I would love to continue to call ourselves Gypsies, because this is the word and this is the name that was given to us long time ago, and we will not change it. We will ask the people to be accepted and to learn more about it and come close to us and know our culture. We hope in the future it will open again, and we will see you, and you are able to come and visiting us and learn more and face to face and buying from our handicraft and give chance to many women to show them and to tell them this handicraft is unique. So I will right now will open discussion. Maybe if anybody will be happy or happy to ask me any question, I would be more than happy to answer.
Thank you, Amun, for amazing stories you shared. It was really inspiring. I'm sure that everyone like me is just so inspired and so fascinated by the work that you're doing, and the way you are saying your story is coming from your heart. That's why it touches heart. So before we go into taking some questions, if this global community has any, I just want to have a recap of what you shared, because many of people joining us today are travelers, and we had this discussion with Angela. I don't know if she could joined today. Angela is one of Amun's volunteer, an amazing woman who supported us in arranging this work. So Angela told us that what if, when we are saying that everyone is welcome, everyone is part of this global community for Amun, what if we understood that, what if we define different roles that people can take and can be part of this community? So I was trying to sketch some of the some of the roles that people can take based on what you share. And I just want to share with people this, just let me open this, share with people this, just a moment. Okay, can you see my screen now? No, okay. So I usually use Mural for my work to capture the notes, but I just want to share this specifically, Angela, for you, but for everyone, just to see that what Amun mentioned, how people can find their places in her global community. So Amun, you touches on that. The first thing for you is just connected to Domari and Romari people, let's say the Gypsy people, as we call them, to share their story, to share their culture and appreciate it. And you think that through this hospitality, you can share this with this global community, which is amazing. Also, people who are food enthusiasts or handicraft enthusiasts have really can have a great role in your community, because they can come as a visitor in your workshops, in virtual bazaars that you hopefully will have, or designers can join for like getting inspired by your work, your handicraft works. Also, we talk about ambassadors like volunteers, storytellers, bloggers, and followers of your work. And the other part that I remember we talked about, and you also mentioned, like as Planetero, the partners who also can be your sponsors and support you in bringing more experiences for the community and for visitors as well. So just want to have this recap that everyone is welcome to join your community as a global community. And then you touch upon that you want every visit be a special and unique visit for this global community, including this virtual visit. So we have a very special token or takeaway from this virtual event for all the audience, and I will let Elisa take it from here. And Elisa Spampinato is one of the greatest member of the global community of Amun, and she has a great story to share with us and a great souvenir from this visit, this virtual visit for us.
Thank you, Marvin. Thank you, Amun. Can you hear me well?
Yes, we hear you well.
Thank you very much. Thank you, Amun, for sharing your story and your stories, actually, and giving the opportunity to learn another layer of reality that sometimes we don't see them. So actually, I'm very excited to be here. I'm very happy to be part of this community. And I would like to share my screen because I have a couple of minutes. I would like to take you into another place. So I would like to first, you can see.
Elisa, I think you should, turn off your video so that we can hear you.
I was actually thinking to do that, but yeah, okay. Can you? Yeah, okay.
Yeah.
Might be better. Better?
Yeah, we can see you now.
Great, yeah. So basically, yes, just have a look at this beautiful picture. Jerusalem is we can't deny it, is a fascinating city with thousands of years of history and sacred to three religions, full of culture and of stories. And many layers, most of which remain invisible. And then we see how Amun is telling how, showing this, there are a lot of Jerusalems, if you like, within Jerusalem. So it's not that we can't access that until we have really in contact with the people that are in the place. So I wanted to share some images here. We used to just we used to visit places, right? But sometimes we forget the most important things, that there are not just places there, right? So we visit places, and most of the time we content with what we see, especially if we don't have much time, right? So and this happened because we are kind of trapped in a kind of scheme. But what actually I've been doing as a travel storyteller at the beginning of the pandemic, we created a campaign. I created a campaign as a travel storyteller to invite the tourists to participate in a different kind of journey, okay? To take time and go deeper, deeper beyond the surface, of what we see, and search for the invisible stories, the grassroots stories, and look for the real protagonist of this story, like we had a chance to have here today. So today, in fact, we have this amazing opportunity to hear the voice of Amun, the protagonist of these stories. And I'm very happy to have Amun and the Domari Society of Gypsy of Jerusalem to be part of the Destination Community Campaign, which is this campaign called also the Postcard series. That the idea briefly of this campaign is that I would like to invite tourists to start collecting a different kind of postcard, a postcard that is not just a place, not focused on the places, but focus on the people. They are in the place, that made place. So listen to the story to connect with what is beyond the scenery that we might have. So, and this is actually, yes, I would say you will receive a postcard, a different kind of postcard, with Amun and from the Domari Society of Gypsy of Jerusalem, and that as a reminder of our stories, and of the reminder, of a general reminder that a place is made of more than beautiful corner of people. And then their lives, struggles, but also their success, their achievement, and their identities, and what matters to them. So what actually I would like to, here there is not the picture, the postcard of Amun, because that would be given to you, and I keep that like as a surprise. But is ready to go and reach your inboxes. But then these as all the other pictures that all the other postcards that are part of the campaign, will be an invitation for you to kind of remember that what is behind the places, what the real, the real people, the real stories. Reminder to have an experience.
Thank you so much, Lisa. You are getting disconnected.
So
maybe if you unshare, we can hear you better.
With the suspense of it. I stopped sharing. I stop sharing, but I'm not sure if you can. I hope you can hear me.
Yes, you stop sharing. Thank you. Thank you so much for this amazing story, news story. And just we're all looking forward to receive that postcard. And so now going back to Judy. Judy, are you able to take the questions if we have any?
Sure. Hi, everyone. There's a question in the chat from Amy, who would love to know what spices you use in your food, Amun. It looks delicious, she says.
Actually, they can maybe contact me. I will show. It's a different kind of spicy, actually. Like my grandmother used to mix up different kind and put it together, combine. So you cannot have anything specific. So for meat, you can have special spices, and for vegetables, also a little bit different kind of spices. But I will be more than happy that if she can contact me and I can really give her some recipe or names that she can really, use it in the future.
Can you share some brief examples?
A brief example, I can say we call one thing is called like we call it khalta. Khalta, this is come with 12 kind of spices inside, and it can be good for soup, it can be good for chicken, and it's and also we always, like my grandmother used to, every khalta they call it, they put little bit cinnamon. Yeah, and this cinnamon she mixed it by herself because she thinks cinnamon can give little bit tasty but not much, so she added on every spices that usually she mix, kind of. So she made the cinnamon one of the main spicy inside her recipes.
And maybe in the future you will have some virtual cooking workshop for people.
I'm working on the book now. We will share in the new book. We will send one new recipe that people can really cook and can use what kind of spices they can use it, and hopefully they can buy it in their countries. We don't know if it's possible to find it everywhere, but usually Middle East is very rich with their spices. Yes.
Okay, some more comments in the chat. Tanaz says, beautiful stories. I really like the idea of focusing on the people rather than the places we visit. For Amun, what's your music like? What is the main instrument?
Yes, I can say to you, like we are also people of the music. We are people who like happiness and like joy. And also the music, it's connect completely with the Gypsy culture. So usually I play table, or what you call it, African drum, and I like it so much. It's my favorite. But usually, like I say, we have many Gypsy musicians, and especially the biggest part during the 67, many of them they escaped to Jordan during the 6-day war, and they settled in Jordan and live there. And actually, some of them they are very famous in Jordan, and they start many things in Jordan, like the Jordan radio, and one of them it's quite famous, but he passed away. His name is Abdul Musa. This guy was one of the most famous musician man in Jordan, and he have quite a famous song till this moment. Everybody use it in their weddings or in their parties. It's called Nizlan ala Nab'at. This is like he talked to his lover, and especially he made it as a group of women who going down to the river, and they bring their hair down. So it's a romantic song, and it's a play on rababa. Rababa, it's a very old instrument. It's close to the Bedouin, but the Gypsies usually when they use this instrument, it's more bigger than the small rababa that Bedouin use in some their weddings or their estimate actually. Yes.
Thank you. We have a few hands raised. Just a reminder, we're almost reaching the end of our time. So if you can keep your questions short, that would be helpful so we can get as many people as possible. It looks like Alina has a hand raised.
Yes, thank you so much. Hello, I really like your presentation. It was pretty wonderful. I was a little, I want to know how, if you have any challenges as a woman empowerment when you start like this business. If there were any challenges in your community?
Of course, to be a woman and start this work, it was not easy at all. And especially we live in a man world here, and especially come from ethnic groups. So I was struggling in the beginning with the mentality of the community and from the men in the community. It was not easy to start it, but thank God I have a good father, and he was open-minded a little bit, and he made me he gave a good hand for me to start this work. But it was not easy, and it was difficult work to start as a woman.
I see. Thank you so much.
Thank you. Anna, you're next.
Okay, thank you. I'm really great, and thank you, Marva, for inviting me. And I'm deeply touched by what Amun shared with us, especially that just before the start of the pandemic 2 years ago in February, I was walking through the old Jerusalem path and the old town to write an article about the Jerusalem, and I'm so I would really love to write the article about, especially about your community and the food, because my vision of tourism is to show people as Eliza. This is how we met with Eliza some time ago. And my question is about the food that you're cooking. How about the sourcing of your food? Do you have any place to grow your food, or do you have any farmers that you cooperate with to grow some ingredients for you? How is that? Because I'm very interested in this whole food, like farmers, producers, chefs. Do you have a special community?
Yeah. Actually, like I say, we have some connection, like in some farmers in the West Bank, and from there we usually get our stuff. But before, I live in the old city, and my grandmother and my home have a small garden. Usually, we grow up many stuff there, like especially like spices or like green leaves that need to be in the cook. So that is how usually we get our stuff, and try to make it easier and shorter, actually. Yeah.
Thank you.
Thank you. And our last question, Marinelle. You're on mute.
Oh, sorry. Yeah. Hi. Actually, my question is kind of a follow-up question with Alina's question. You mentioned about the challenges of women starting programs like this, and I was reading your website. I wonder though, because there's so many initiatives being started by women, but they fall apart for a lot of reasons, and one of them is patriarchy, which you mentioned on your website. Can you give us some insight as to how you were able to overcome those barriers in your community, and how you were able to gain allies to support your work? Because I can imagine in the beginning there were a lot of people who didn't support it. And then the last question I have is, how can global communities support initiatives by women who are facing these types of challenges, so that we can make sure that your project becomes successful?
Yeah. Like I said, first of all, I want to say how it was the challenge. The challenge to be in Middle East and to be a woman, and then you come from a very ethnic group. Their mentality is very, very complicated, and in the same time is not educated community complete. Like we have people in the community who's controlling the community, and it's the men in the community. So to come a woman from nowhere and to say, I want to start community center, that was for them a challenge, and it was for them a problem. I've been frightened from the community. I've been really even tell many bad stories about me in the beginning to stop me. Some of the men think I will pull their carpet from their feet when I start this work. So they try to do anything to stop this work. And actually they gamble on me that this work will not continue. But I start this work from 2000, and now we are in 2022. I keep going. Nobody knows how much it was difficult, not so much help, not so much money coming. And as I say, we are women organization. It's pity that we see not so many women organization was able to help or even to know us. Maybe through now this meeting, some maybe other organization will know about this community center. But I can say, I'm proud to say, since we started this organization, we've done so many changes. We create so many different for many women. Many women, they became successful. Some of them, the new generation from young women, some of them now studying. One of them now, she's will be first lawyer in the community. That is successful story. And they were really with me. I was helping them and supporting them with tutoring school course in the community center. So these children was with me from the beginning, and now they are reaching university. That's what I call it successful for me. I hope from through you, through Merva and many travel agents, that they can talk about this community. They can really visit the website of this community and contact with us if they were really interesting to help or to share with us the information worldwide. I like you to share about this community with others, and I hope you can really advise people to connect with us in the future and to know more about this community center. We are a small organization, but this organization done more than big organization have done. With very small and limit budget, but we are very grateful that we are able to continue till now and to serve the women and also the young generation in the community.
Thank you so much. And with that, we've come to the end of our event. I want to thank
Jyoti, do we have a minute? I just want to share with for
yeah,
the
go
next
for it.
Okay.
Go ahead.
And then so let's see. So I just wanna take 1 minute more from you, sharing what will be the next story that I'm gonna share with you as Ethnomad, hopefully with ITA hosting. So this would be, I mean, there will be 2 stories from Iran, south part of Iran, my home country. The first story will take us to a village in Kashm Island in southern part of Iran, and we will hear the story of women and men who has a special guest from the ocean, and they use hospitality and like visitor experience-based experiences to conserve and to protect this special guest, and also to promote the cultures and to create opportunities for women. And then the next story will take us a little bit further west, again in Iran, and it was about a community which is growing date palms for hundreds of years in a sustainable way. And you will be hosted by their warm culture, will be mesmerized by their handicraft, ethnic foods, and the value that they have for the next generation to learning about their cultures through hosting visitors and tourists. So I hope that would be amazing story as this event was. And thank you, Amun, so much for sharing with us. Angela wants us to talk about your book with a story that will be published in English soon. So just give us a hint on that, please. Your story that will be published in English, and then we can wrap up.
Great.
Do you want to say something about your book?
Yes, let's end these things with good news. We after I did a book, it's called Dreaming Gypsies in Jerusalem, but now it's more personally, and it's about my personal life. I want to tell everybody in the end, I was a woman. I have not easy life. I grew up as a childhood, not easy, and maybe that's why God was really able to play something in myself, that I can really be something in the future. I was discriminated child all my life. I dropped out of the school in very early age. I was in the street, and then in the end I say, this is not the life I wanted to be. I want to be something, and that's why I start to be active in early age. So I did story about my life and how much how much it's difficult to be gypsy, and I don't know why. How much you've been refusing personally of being gypsy, or even losing a friend, losing people inside the school, inside the street. It was not easy. It's complicated life, but there are also a bright side, that you feel you are unique. And that's maybe right now what I call myself. I'm unique. And if anybody, he don't like me, it's his problem. It's not my problem. I'm okay. So I love everybody. I care for everybody. And that's how it is. God made me with love, and I will keep love. So this book will coming hopefully in this fall. It will be my story, history story, and also recipe from the food of the community. So it will be like all in one, and also a little bit about the spicy. For the ones who want to have spices, they will find it in this book. So we're hoping to print it out this year, and it will be people and easy can find it maybe in different ways, like maybe it will be on Amazon, or it will be personally you have to come to Jerusalem and get it from us. So this book would be very unique, and I will be proud to say it will happen. So this is
Thank you very much.
future plans.
Amazing.
Wonderful. Thank you so much.
Thank you.
As we're wrapping up, I just want to remind everyone, Impact Travel Alliance hosts lots of events. We have blog posts that share a lot of really useful information. So keep an eye out for our upcoming events via social media and our newsletter, Impact Travel Alliance, on all of our social media. And thank you so much to everyone who's joined us. Thank you especially to our speakers. It was really, really interesting to learn your story. And I look forward to seeing everyone next time. Bye-bye.
Ria.
Thank you, everyone.
Good to see you.
Bye.